In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to stop a real dog bite in 3 seconds or less guaranteed. Whether it's a random loose dog attacking your dog, a neighbor's dog mauling your kid, or you getting attacked by one or more dogs. This technique is going to stop it and stop it fast. Yes. In some cases, it might even save a life. We're also going to talk about what doesn't work. All those stupid internet hacks, no brooms, no water bottles, no screaming, no sticking fingers where they don't belong. What I'm going to show you is a proven method I personally use thousands of times with real dogs on real bites on the street when seconds count and there's no other options. This is exactly what we used in police canine work, and we needed those techniques to work right now. This isn't theory. This is what actually works. Let's get into it. Good boy. The pasta. Folks, before we get started, I want to let you know the first time we put this video up, it was actually the most viral video we've ever had on YouTube. And within 2 days, YouTube took it down. Now, why did they do that? I guess they're saying it was a little too extreme for some of you soft, sensitive folks. So we're putting it back up for a round 2. So what am I trying to tell you? Watch it while it's hot. Watch it before YouTube takes it down once again. This type of information is going to absolutely save lives. So let's get after it. Warning. Before we go any further, you need to understand something. The footage and techniques you're about to see are not for the faint of heart. These methods have been kept behind closed doors, shared only inside police canine units, and used in real emergencies to pull powerful dogs off real bites on real people. For years, I held back from sharing them with all of you because this knowledge is dangerous if it ends up in the wrong hands. But I've come to terms with the reality that the chance of you or your family getting attacked or mauled by a dog is far greater than the chance of some bad guy using these techniques on a police dog. And even if they did, there's usually a team of officers close by ready to handle business if you try to hurt their canine partner. At this point, my attorneys would like you to know that none of this is advice. I am not a licensed veterinarian, so don't take or use anything I show you here without consulting with your vet, who probably doesn't have any of the training or background in using these techniques, but will almost certainly tell you never to do any of the things I'm about to show you. I'm simply showing you exactly how I would take a dog off a bite in an emergency. We take no responsibility if you do something dumb and get bit trying to play hero. Either way, we're going to show you 3 techniques that are guaranteed to work, and if you stick around to the end, we'll reveal a secret technique that even most canine handlers don't know how to use. First thing I want to talk about is why this even matters. Look, every time I open my phone, there's another video. Kid getting mauled in their own backyard, a dog getting ripped to pieces on the sidewalk, another attack that seems to go on for minutes and minutes while people are panicking, screaming, crying, or worse, frozen in fear, completely helpless. And no matter what they do, they can't seem to get the dogs to let go. In the aftermath, people screaming and crying, dogs bleeding out, permanent physical disfigurement, and lifelong mental trauma, and sometimes the lives of either a dog or a human getting destroyed in seconds. And here's the brutal truth. Most of it could have been stopped if someone actually knew what the hell to do. But they didn't, because nobody really teaches this stuff. Not in high school, not in puppy class, not in obedience training, not on TikTok, and definitely not from some of those positive-only treat fairies who say,
well, if you just ignore the bad behavior, maybe it'll go away on its own.
That's why this matters to me, because when it's your kid, when it's your dog getting shredded, you don't get to hit the pause button and ask Google, how do I break up a dog fight? And yeah, you might be the type that's going to spring into action and handle business. But if you're just screaming, punching, grabbing tails, you're not going to be stopping anything. What if you call 911? Great idea. But when seconds count, the police are only minutes away. This isn't theoretical for me. I've choked dogs off bites, not dozens, not hundreds, but literally thousands of times. Real dogs biting real humans in high-stakes training environments and also on the street in some of the scariest situations you can imagine. This isn't something I read in a book and decided to share. This is something I've dealt with countless times with high-drive, hard-ass dogs trained to not only bite and hold for a living, but to bite deeper and harder the more you try to take them off. And if you're sitting there thinking, yeah, but that'll probably never happen to me, let me give you some crazy statistics. There are over 90 million dogs in the US, and every year 4.5 million dog bites are reported. Over 800,000 of those dog bites send someone to the hospital, and around 30 to 50 people die every single year in the US alone from dog attacks. 1 out of 73 people will be bitten by a dog this year. That's more common than getting hit by a car, choking on food, or having your house catch on fire. But nobody's prepared for it. Look, the odds of winning Powerball is 1 in 292 million. Yet I see all of you out there buying up those lottery tickets, which is awesome, but I just need you to take a few minutes to watch this video to understand how to stop a dog fight once and for all in case it happens to you. Now, before we show you exactly what works each and every time, let's talk about all the stuff that doesn't work so don't waste your time. And spoiler alert, it's just about everything you've probably seen and heard on the internet. We got videos of people punching dogs in the ribs like they're in the UFC. We've got grown men unloading kicks like they're in a bar fight and the dog doesn't even flinch. People busting out water hoses, water bottles, brooms, pots, pans, hell, one lady even tried a damn Swiffer mop. One dude even tried spraying a freaking fire extinguisher. You think that would work, but it didn't do shit. And then there's the dark side. A long time ago, in a forum not so far away, a tale was told that the secret to stopping a dog fight was to shove a finger up its ass. And like a Jedi mind trick gone horribly wrong, people actually believed it. Stick your finger in his business. If one finger doesn't work, use two. And if two doesn't work, use three. A fist a day will keep the vet away. I mean... Now, this brings us to a recent case of a young man, God bless him, who attempts the maneuver. Not once, but twice. We now refer to him as the diddler. If your plan to stop a violent dog attack involves household cleaning supplies, yelling, or exploring the canine colon, you have zero plan. You're improvising in the middle of chaos, and meanwhile, someone's kid is bleeding, someone's dog is dying, and you're out here reenacting the Three Stooges with a shovel and a prayer and trying to poke out their brown eye. As funny as this conversation is, it's not funny when it's your dog, it's not funny when it's your kid, and it's definitely not funny when you're the one screaming and crying on a viral video with a leash in one hand and a useless broom in the other. But there is a better way. So stay tuned for the next part. We're going to show you the proven real-world methods where you can stop a dog biting in 3 seconds or less, the same way we do with police dogs every single day. No gimmicks, no guessing, no pain, no violence, and probably the best part, no smelly fingers that your friend might mistake for a Snickers bar. Let's get into it. All right, so we got Miss Zena here. She's gonna help us demonstrate some of these techniques. We're using Miss Zena because she has this beautiful coat, and it's gonna contrast nicely with the tools that are in place. So the first tool that we're gonna use is the collar. Let's just assume the dog that's biting, or both dogs that are fighting each other or biting you, one of them has a freaking collar on. We see a lot of people lifting up and trying to pull back. That's just opposition reflex. It makes the dog dig in harder. We need you to lift this collar, what we say high and tight. Get it as high as you can. How high? Right behind the jawbone. Right behind the ears, right in this area here, and then you're gonna lift and hold. If you lift hard enough and you hold long enough, within 3, maybe 4 or 5 seconds, the dog's gonna let go. Now, if you need a little bit more leverage, you can straddle the dog. By the way, this is a little safer than choking from the front for obvious reasons. Again, before I lift, you're gonna see me cheat this up, and then I'm gonna lift with my palms facing me is one technique. Another technique is this way, whatever works for you, but I usually can get this done with one hand. Lift and hold. It's gonna cause a gag reflex. And then what's happening here is my legs are isolating her a little bit, which kind of traps her from getting her front paws lifted off the ground. Imagine if I wasn't doing that. It's not to hurt her, but we will demonstrate for demonstration purposes. I can get her off the ground pretty quick. I might only be lifting 20, 30, 40 pounds worth. If I block her, I can apply a lot more leverage. Also, I have some control of her body. If you do this outside of it and you lift, the dog's natural tendency is to spin, and then your hand's gonna get twisted up. You can break a finger, you can hurt yourself. It's just not ideal. So when you can, straddle the dog, choke off, and then back away. That's technique number 1, absolutely guaranteed to work. But wait, Garrett, what if they don't have a collar on? Step 2 coming up. Have you been scammed by a so-called dog trainer who promised results but left you with nothing but a lighter wallet and a leash full of hope? Were you told food would fix everything, but now your dog only listens when you wave a ribeye in their face? You may be entitled to actual training. At Thanos & Thanos, attorneys at Paw, we fight for those left behind by the positive-only promise. Our nationwide team of trainers isn't here to hope your dog gets better. We're here to make it happen. All trainers are not created equal. Some bark, we bite. Subscribe now to see what real training looks like, and consult our next video to avoid falling victim to the feel-good frauds. Thanos & Thanos, for the dogs. All right, technique number 2. If there's no collar in play, our hope is that there's at least a leash in play. You can unhook that leash from the god-awful harness that probably got you in the fight to begin with, or you can unhook it from the dog that's getting attacked and means no harm, and get it ready to be deployed on the dog that's biting. Now, you're not gonna go over the head, because it's biting something. So the only way you can do it is to come in underneath, okay? Get that loop of the leash right here where you need it, put the other part of the leash through, and again, we're looking for, guess what? High and tight. So as high as you can get it, I would take the extra second or 2 to get it high, and then lift, baby. How do you lift? Same concept. If you can straddle, straddle. And you're gonna lift with 2 hands. Don't do this, silly boys and girls. You'll hurt your shoulder. You wanna be low right here. Lifting. Up you go. Now be careful. The dogs will spin and try to bite whatever's choking them, but you're gonna lift and get out the hell out of the way and continue to use that leash to get them separated from whatever it was they were biting. We're gonna get in a little deeper here in a minute and talk about what if you have a really, really vicious, out of control dog. This will get them off, but how do we keep them from biting again and biting again and biting again? We'll cover that in a moment. Now, before we show you methods 3 and 4, some of you might already be typing in the comment section, what about the wheelbarrow technique? I'm aware of it. I've used it in the past once, actually, when 2 dogs were getting into it. It doesn't actually break up the dog fight. It just kind of separates them when they're all tangled up and you don't even know which is up and which is down, so that you can get in there and perform the techniques that I'm showing you. So the reason I'm not even gonna demonstrate the wheelbarrow technique to you is even if I did it in a slow speed environment just to demonstrate it, very high chance that I could cause not only pain and discomfort, but I can actually stretch something, break something, pull something out of socket, cause permanent injury to Ms. Zena here, and not even doing it full speed. Now, if you do it full speed, pretty much guaranteed you're gonna rip something, tear something, hurt something, which again, in the middle of a dogfight, if that's what you need to do and to save somebody, you do what you gotta do. But I've also seen where the wheelbarrow technique does absolutely nothing to get the dog to let go. It just kind of stretches them out. I don't recommend the wheelbarrow technique. I would just skip that technique and go to something that's guaranteed to work. Let's get back to part 3 and part 4 to show you again 2 more techniques that will absolutely work. All right, the next technique is if you find yourself without a leash, without a collar, we have basically what's called a naked dog. While that dog is biting, you're gonna go for basically a rear naked choke. How effective is it? Ask the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Conor McGregor, who got taken out right away with Nate Diaz. When this maneuver is done correctly, once again, 2, 3, 4 seconds and the dog is tapping. What's the dog version of a tap out? They let go. Now, there is a con to this technique that I'm gonna demonstrate. We'll talk about that here in the end, but let me at least demonstrate it to you first. So first thing you're gonna do is, once again, consider high and tight. You're gonna come in and you're gonna use your chest and or your shoulder to push this down while you're also lifting up. Now, unlike a rear naked choke, and I am no MMA expert, that's definitely cutting off blood flow to the brain. This is more of an air choke, and the reason being, I'm not wrapping fully and trying to put pressure left and right, though that is effective. I'm actually using the blade here of my forearm, this inner part here, high, and I'm lifting with this hand straight back to once again cut off, almost simulate what we're doing with the leash. Look where my face is. Very dangerous place to be. If she starts squirming and rolling, you can easily get bit in the face. That's why this technique, usually we don't let the dog tap out, because even if you let go, you have no leash, you have no collar. Where's the dog gonna go as soon as it lets go? They're usually not out of the fight, they just temporarily let go. You actually might have to hang on for the full ride until the dog goes, shit, unconscious. Hey, and just like in MMA, you're not gonna kill him, it's gonna go unconscious. And obviously at that point, you might wanna let go and then get the hell out of Dodge, or get that dog in a car, over a fence, locked up in a cage crate, whatever you gotta do. Take advantage of that short moment in time while the dog is in La La Land. All right, stay tuned for part 4. The final technique we saved to the end because it is the most powerful, it is the quickest, it's the most effective, it's also the most dangerous. It's just a straight up hand choke. Let me show you how it works. Like with everything, high. There's like a 45-degree angle here where her jaw meets her neck. What we're not gonna do is crush the trachea. What we're not gonna do is do it low like on the Adam's apple. Well, I ain't doing that. We need to be high and tight. In fact, I suggest when we teach other canine handlers how to do this, by the way, this is the first thing we teach a canine handler on day 1 when they bring their police dog home, because many, many times it's happened where we give them a dog that knows how to bite, it goes home, handler has no idea what they're doing, the dog bites them, bites their kid, bites the neighbor's dog, all kinds of pandemonium happens. So the first thing we actually teach, we put the dog on a bite and we show them how to execute this technique until they get it right.
Good, that was good removal.
So you guys are learning some behind the scenes cool shit here. What you're gonna wanna do is go behind the trachea, okay? You can do it yourself and feel. We're not gonna squeeze here. We're gonna go like where our tonsils are, way up there. You should actually feel the jawbone kind of riding on the top of your fingers. And you're gonna keep driving back, push behind and squeeze. So if this was the trachea, we're not squeezing on the trachea, we're going behind it, trying to get our fingers to touch. Which fingers? Thumb and first finger, thumb and first and second finger, third, fourth finger, whatever works, you're just squeezing. And we're not crushing like this. We're squeezing like that, like trying to leave this kind of loose and open. So we're doing that. It's very hard to explain, but hopefully you're getting it. Continue to drive back, squeeze. Now I'm gonna do just a very mild demonstration. We're not gonna hurt her. Whoop, just did it. Doesn't even bother her. Now what this does, doesn't really cut off air or blood flow to the brain. It just causes a gag reflex. If you do this wrong, you can crush a trachea, you can kill a dog. So you wanna be very careful. By the time you gotta deploy this technique, chances are, again, there's no collar, there's no leash, things are out of control. If you do this and they come off, which is in about 3 seconds or less, now what? How do you maintain control of the dog? So in rare circumstances when we have to do this and there's no equipment on a dog, we might have to continue to deploy this maneuver and use it as a choke so that air and blood flow to the brain ceases. So 20, 30 seconds later, if you have to hold this technique, a dog that's trying to just murder everyone in its path, you might have to do this until the dog goes out. Not kill it, just like in MMA, those athletes get choked out all the time. They don't die, they just kind of go unconscious for about 10, 30 seconds, just enough for you to get away. And trust me, when the dog wakes up, they're in La La Land. The last thing they want to do is fight or bite anyone. So we have done that in the past with police dogs that have absolutely tried to murder their own handler or anybody in their path. It's a technique that even some police agencies use literally all day, every today. It's called the tactile removal. Yes, of course, we're supposed to have a verbal out. In a perfect world, the dog responds to the verbal out. And then there's real life, where the e-collar doesn't work, the dog's not listening to you, gunshots are ringing out, and you need to get that dog off right now. This is the technique we go to, and now you know it. When it works, which it will, post in the comments below what technique you used, how it worked. Don't get bit. Don't go out there and start this. I'm saying this for emergencies only. And again, I'm not even telling you to do it. I'm saying if you happen to do it, let us know. Let us know where you're from. Let us know all the incidents of detail, because it's going to save some lives. It's going to break up some dog fights really quickly. And I'm just happy to be able to share it with you. So thank you so much for making it to this part. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and do me another favor. Send this to some friends. Send it to your family members so everybody knows what to do in the case of an emergency. If you have kids, or you have another dog, or you walk in a place where there are dogs, know this technique, share it with others. And big thank you to Ms. Zena, big thank you to my crew here today. They did a wonderful job. And we'll see you on the next one.